and I missed the hello part. Hello and welcome. I wasn't unmuted yet. Hello and welcome to the Lair of Lore. We're back. We're not dead. I am currently not actually dying from my new job. I'm trying very hard though. Miriam is not still graduating constantly forever and doing finals.
It's very exciting.
I am Steven.
And I'm Miriam.
And we are
It's exciting to be back.
And you know the best part? We don't actually have anything to talk about this week, but we demanded that we would record.
Yes.
So we actually have two topics for this week, and they're both really tiny. One of them we're only doing because there is a thing that Miriam wants to hear me say as part of the podcast.
Because it is so glorious! Because it needs to go on record as a ridiculous thing. It needs to be a quote, it needs to go on a t-shirt, and it made me really happy, because it was silly.
Because we are talking about two things this episode. One, we're going to do a real quick run-through of the Arch-Enemy packs, because I was really looking forward to it, to be completely honest.
It's exciting.
And the decks aren't that impressive looking to me, but maybe it's just me, so here's hoping.
Yes.
Additionally...
Steven, are we actually online on the page? Because it's looking like we're not on Twitch.
Refresh the page.
Refreshed it twice so far.
I believe we are. Hang on.
Check your stuff real quick.
I am broadcasting. It says that I am not dropping any frames. It says that I am currently successfully streaming.
I cannot see anything. That's problematic.
That is problematic.
Oh, well.
I can't see...
It just went back to hosting the mana pool.
That is unique and annoying. So
if Damas... See if...
Not
see if he can hear us. At... Damasu...
Hang on. Hang on. The stream. Or recommence the stream. Are we live? Oh. It looks like we might be live. Is it true? It says we're exiting host mode.
Yes, so this is exciting. We might actually be starting for real this time.
Well, that means I have to, shut up so that we can redo this. Redo our goofy-ass intro. And not cock it up this time.
Oh, you can do it.
I legit can't tell if we're live.
I can't either. I've got a loading screen.
Me too. But I'm still not dropping any frames. Come on.
You can do it.
Please don't unmute. Okay, it says that I've got... It says that Twitch is receiving frames.
This is doing dumb things.
Our stream health is good. There! Now, okay, yes, we are actually live. What in the blue hell, you bastard machine?
I have no idea.
Well, let's try this again. Hello and welcome to the Lair of Lore. We are back. I'm
properly
not dead.
back. Properly back this time.
Actually back.
We tried a couple times.
We just spent about 6 minutes fighting with not being truly live. That's a new one. That's definitely a new one.
It's there's nothing happening on the screen. What's going on?
I am Steven.
And I'm Miriam. And I've graduated college, so no more finals.
And I have a new job that made me kind of crazy and very sleepy, which is basically why we haven't had a podcast in several weeks. But we are back.
I would say a couple months. It's verging on months.
The stream was very undead, yeah. So, the best part, we don't actually have that much to talk about, because there isn't that much that happened that is in our purview of wonderful lore and art and such. But
yeah, we kind of missed the whole Amonkhet thing with finals.
We talked about some Amonkhet.
A little bit?
Yeah. But
maybe
there are two things that we can talk about. One of them we're mostly only talking about because... One, I'm very angry that all of the discourse about it is so angry, which I know is dumb, but shut up.
Cap is minding angry discourse? What?
Look, I get annoyed because the Magic community gets angry and pissy about everything, including things that are actively good for them.
Has it devolved into pissy name calling?
That is the high bar. It goes down from there. That's where
Seriously?
it starts. Look, Magic community is not a positive place generally.
Fair enough.
So we're going to be talking about the MMO because I want to bring some positivity to this, and we are going to talk about, we were going to talk about the Archenemy sets, but
they're kind of meh.
They're kind of butts.
I wouldn't go so far as to say butts. They're just meh. Because butts is like the end one. It's like closer to the one end of the spectrum, whereas meh is a solid middle. Like it's okay.
Like we'll definitely do
it's playable, but not worth spending my money on.
I'll be completely honest. If I had not promised that we would record today, I probably would have backed out today because there's just not that much to talk about. But also now Miriam wants to have me say a comment that has to do with the MMO.
Then you know what? Let's do the MMO first because that's the fun stuff.
I was going to do it second so that we can like drag it out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes, first we're actually just going to talk about Archenemy because I had hope. I mean, one of these decks looks really good. It's
okay.
It's
they're okay.
Not the Archenemy deck, which is kind of impressive. So real quick rundown for anyone who's never heard of or played Archenemy. Basic idea, it is a all versus one format where one person is the archenemy, the big bad of some sort. In this case, it's going to be Nicol Bolas. They get a touch more life. If I recall correctly, they start at 40, and the rest of the enemies start at 20. It might be 30 that they start at.
I need to not have as many tabs open because I can't find the single thing I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's always the issue. And while they get one turn for every turn that the enemies get, so it's like archenemy goes, then the other 3 go, then the archenemy goes, then the other 3. The one thing that they have in their advantage, besides slightly more life, is they have a scheme deck, which are free cards that do something. They can be active schemes that go on for a certain amount of time or until an effect triggers them to like go away, or they'll be things that are like you draw them, they do a thing, they go away. At most, there's usually one scheme in play at a time. I don't want to say there's only ever one because I don't remember what they all do. But none of them are bad cards. They're just... all the decks are just so meh. So we've got
they're unexciting.
Yeah, we've got a Gideon, a Chandra, and a Nissa deck, along with the Nicol Bolas deck. And for some reason, unlike whenever they do dual decks, they didn't just put in the new Nicol Bolas, they just gave us the original one. With admittedly better art, because his old art looks kind of skinny and not that threatening.
You have to admit, this has a certain element of grandeur to it. Like,
yeah, it's very impressive.
It's like, I imagine some sort of, like, choral sound behind him to do the, something dramatic, like, behind him as he's slowly rising up.
Yeah, so I know that there's a few ongoing schemes that remain out, but don't they very specifically... Yeah, an ongoing scheme remains face up until it's abandoned, so you can't play any more schemes while you have an ongoing one. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Hang on. So, really quickly, while I'm looking at this, the first one that I ran into is My Laughter Echoes, which is an ongoing scheme. Whenever you set a non-ongoing scheme into motion, you may abandon this scheme. If you do, set that scheme into motion again. Wait. Wow, that's not confusing at all.
I was going to say that's some sweet flavor text, though.
Yes, it is. Groveling already? I'm just starting to enjoy myself.
I feel like that's something that your character would say in D&D.
My character is not an asshole in D&D.
Well, he would say it, like, sarcastically.
Probably.
Like, not with quite the same emphasis that you put onto it, but definitely some sort of silly emphasis.
I was a rules advisor back when that was a thing. But I also haven't tried to do anything with Magic besides the podcast pretty much since then. But yeah, I mean, looking at everything thus far, of the
I mean, no one will hear your cries. This could be useful because it's essentially so. When you set the scheme in motion, each opponent chooses a creature he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. It's like an almost board wipe.
That's sort of what schemes tend to be, is just kind of destructive or something to put the arch enemy ahead.
Yeah, because the next one, Every Dream a Nightmare, is a land discard. Like, they have to get rid of a land in play.
Or Behold My Grandeur. Whenever you set the scheme into motion, add basically one whole Grixis to your mana pool. When you, however, what's this rest of this? Whenever you set this scheme in motion, if you control 6 or more lands, you may search your library for a card with a converted mana cost 6 or greater, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Just, well, I get 3 free mana. Also, I'm going to go Tutor, if I can. So, suck
also,
it?
Hello, Bleak Visage, because I didn't see you sneak in.
Yeah, that's where I was responding about the Rules Advisor thing. I mean, it sort of is, but only sort of. Yeah, the heroic decks just seem sort of, casual or noob-friendly, but also, like, they just have less going for them. Except the red one, because I would not call Obsidian Fireheart a noob deck, or noob card.
I think the way that I've been thinking about it is it's very much a replayable set.
Well, that's always what they're supposed to be, because it's a multiplayer set. This just seems like it's supposed to be a pick-up-and-play thing. Yeah.
Instead of, like, dropping all your money on this and being able to play, like, once. Like, it's kind of you can play it again.
Damn so nothing can Joey! Really... Sorry, I'm just having to yell at Joey real quick.
Twitch Prime and a pup. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So, yeah, we do agree with you, World Forger.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a more noob-friendly decks, but even then, it feels like they're not doing that well when they throw in weird stuff like Audric Master Tactician, where you just have... Here's a relatively simple... Oh, wait, sorry, I'm thinking this is the other Audric. Oh, ignore me. Never mind. This might be more confusing.
Is it's decent. Audric Master Tactician is definitely a decent card, but...
So, really quickly, Audric Master Tactician for 2 generic and 2 white is a legendary creature, human soldier. He's a 3/4 with first strike. Whenever Audric Master Tactician and at least 3 other creatures attack, you choose which creatures block this combat and how those creatures block.
It's definitely a good defense card.
Yeah, which are... No, it's not a defense card, it's an attack card. You pick how the...
I read it as, like, your... That was stupid. I was thinking of it as, like, oh, your people are blocking. But it's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. And, yeah.
Miriam briefly went mad. Sorry, I was thinking this is the newer Audric, the one who basically lets you do the... Everyone gets every keyword ability you've got. Just for the sake of deep confusion. But, I mean, this still... It's just weird that they have nice, semi-sort of casual cards, and then Audric and Obsidian Fireheart, and I'm sure there's probably some in the Nissa deck.
I'm looking at some of the cards you're talking about.
I mean, they have Thragtusk, which is just funny, but I don't think it's... Is Thragtusk still a big card? And this is more for chat, not for you, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I was gonna say, like,
it's a very...
You know me.
It is a deceptively powerful card. It is a remarkably strong card. The other thing I'm kind of sad about is that there's no new art for any of the cards in here.
Like, I was actually noticing that. I was like, I recognize
one
a lot
of the things
of
that they tend to do whenever they do, like, these or dual decks is, hey, we have this card that we're reprinting, so we'll give it new art. None of these have new art, except for Bolas. Like, even Blood Tyrant, who for some reason gets a full-on call-out in the middle of the article where they're talking about this, doesn't get new art, and his original art is kind of ass. I mean, yeah, the Planeswalkers get new art, but...
Beyond that, none of the other cards do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's new... Yeah, like I said, there's the new Planeswalker art, but... Really quickly, what was Pyromaster's old art? Because I remember it being better. No. Chandra Pyromaster. I'm dumb. Yeah, no. We already said that the art on the box is amazing.
We drooled over it.
Actually, no. Chandra Pyromaster does not look that much better. Because it looks less cartoony.
Yeah. A little more intense.
But, yeah, no, the amazing...
I like the snarl she's got going for her. That's the silliest thing.
Well, no, the Raymond Swanlin art on the front of the box is gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful. Why is it not on a card? Or please make it a wallpaper so that I could put it on my phone or something.
That would make you happy.
It's Raymond Swanlin art. It has never once been bad.
Or like as a new background for us. That would be fun. That would be really nice.
That I might be able to do.
Yay!
Legitimately, find me bad Raymond Swanlin art.
Oh my god, going
back. I don't
back
think you even can if you look at Hearthstone,
sexy.
And Hearthstone is even weirder.
It's such a beautiful piece of art. There's even flying debris.
Well, that's what he does.
There's flying debris. It's a silly little thing, but but details.
Yeah.
Damasu, I'm also a little bit sunburned, so. Oh,
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Me being like super pale means I get sunburnt really easily.
Yeah, I do feel a little bit bad that there's just nothing for us to really talk about here, because I was really expecting them to do, having
something more.
Basically not looked at this before now. I was really kind of hoping that they were going to do, like, new art, or, hey, here's some of the cards from Hour of Devastation. I guess we can talk about the 3 cards from Hour of Devastation that have been officially revealed, but let's do that after we talk about the MMO! So, first thing, I hate all of you people on Twitter that have been complaining about the MMO. It doesn't even have a trailer. It doesn't even have a non-game footage trailer, much less anything with in-game footage. We have literally no idea what the hell it looks like. Stop it. It might be good.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, given the people who are developing it, it'll probably be good. Because it's Cryptic. Go look and see what Cryptic has developed. They have never developed anything except for MMOs. That's all they make.
To be fair, it's like, this is their game. They are like...
Yeah,
put someone in like their safe spot. They're like, oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah, they've done interviews where it's basically like, yeah, no, we've worked with Wizards before. We made the Neverwinter MMO, sort of MMO thing. We follow their design document. We use their IP, but we don't necessarily include the basic ingredients of the game. We take the fact that you have this nice, rich, amazing world, or in our case, a multiverse that we talk about every episode because that's our whole thing.
And lots of multiverse. Big, giant, enormous, planar multiverse. And it's beautiful.
Give it gameplay that has nothing to do with the cards. So please calm the hell down. Oh my god.
There could be, like, the amount of development that you could do with it is beautiful. It's so beautiful.
And these are the folks who did City of Heroes, City of Villains, Champions Online, Star Trek Online, and that one I just said and already forgot, Neverwinter. What have they done that's bad? Nothing. Most of those weren't even their own original IPs.
Nope.
Like City of Heroes and City of Villains were basically the same game. Champions Online is basically the same game, just with better graphics and better controls.
I mean, the whole thing is like, it seems like that is something that they're really good at, taking all this original content and then making the MMOs for it. Making a good, solid, playable MMO. And that's fine. That is totally fine.
We don't even know if there are planeswalkers. There is no reason to assume that that the game is even about playing planeswalkers. It might just be, hey, we have this... All of the games in the past have been, like, the games that weren't, hey, let's play Magic, we're set on Chandelar. Maybe it's just on Chandelar. Well, Mara's quest for a new unset I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah, they might mess it up a little bit. Like,
yeah, well, I don't think that WotC is the issue. I think that Hasbro is the issue. I think that if the fact that this was not announced at HasCon actually gives me a fair bit of like happiness that it might be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are famous for microtransactions because most of their games end up being free to play. And right now, we already have a free to play microtransaction based Magic game. Technically, we have two of them. We have Magic Online, and we have Totally Fake Magic Online.
Totally hoping for that. Sorry, I was addressing a comment.
I would like the MMO for us to be Planeswalkers so that we can see the multiverse. I don't think it has to be.
That would be awesome. I mean, that would, in my mind, that would provide the vehicle to go to the other planes. That, in my brain, is like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. That's how you're going to get there.
To be fair, the issue with most computer-related products produced by WotC is that they only produce one. It's Magic Online, and instead of developing their own stuff, they hired an outside company to do Magic Online, then decided to bring it in-house and are still basing all of the stuff that they're working on now on what that company did way back when they started. I don't know which part you're saying is not true, because chat delay is a fun thing.
Yes.
So before you catch up, then I was going to say the quick thing that is the only thing I'm actually worried about at this point. They have a lot of the backend for the card game that is terrible. Yes, because the backend for all of their stuff is the same that they've been using since the 90s. So they haven't upgraded anything, which is the same issue with Magic Online, is that they are still using the same base that they got from the company they hired to run Magic Online initially back in 2003? When did Invasion Block come out? Because that's when Magic Online started, right? But they're still using the same base and haven't upgraded. Yes, remember that all of the games have different payment models. Right now, technically, City of Heroes and City of Villains don't exist. They actually are run by fans. Champions Online is entirely free-to-play, and yes, there's like a free-to-play, or there's a certain amount of things you can't get for free-to-play. The issue that you have to remember with free-to-play is that the developer still has to make money on it.
Exactly.
So, I would technically agree that yes, they probably should burn the base that they're working with for MTGO to the ground and start from the bottom up. The problem is that as soon as someone heard about MTGO Next and decided that's what they were doing, suddenly everyone hated the idea about that too, because Magic players hate everything. Oh,
as in the conversation we had earlier.
So the one thing that I'm worried about, more than anything else, is the fact that, is anyone here aware of who owns Cryptic? Fun thing, if you Google Cryptic, there's that little like bar on the side that gives you sort of a brief breakdown of stuff. If you look at the current company, there's one company that for some reason is listed twice. And I'm willing to bet that the reason for that is because that company is Atari. Over the past 2 decades, about 8 different companies have bought out the previous version of Atari, then shorn off its name and worn it as a horrible skin mask over their own face.
And see, this is what brings us to the visual that like amuses me to no end. I have a lot of nostalgia towards Atari just in general. That was my first console. Like, we had this old, really, like this little, I don't know, like tube TV where you turned it on, you heard a puff, and you had a joystick and a button. And that was my first console. It was Atari.
But the problem is that now that Atari died out almost 20-something years ago. Then it got bought out, then it got sold off by Warner, bought up by someone else who immediately went, ooh, this is pretty, cut off its face and put it on themselves. They then went out of business, had this horrible rotten face they were wearing as a mask shorn off of them and put onto someone else, who then died, had the same thing done, etc. for about 8 times over the past 20 years.
That's a really rotten skin mask.
3 of them happened within the past 5 years.
Yes, Masu. We
are saw that Steph is playing with Chewy.
It was great. His stream was up while we were hosting it, and I was like, that's Steph's voice?
Yep. So,
okay, cool.
That's what I'm worried about, is that right now, if you look at their parent company list, there are 2 different Ataris listed. There's a very good chance that one of those was Atari, and then went out of business, and a different parent company of Cryptic bought up the Atari name and put it on its face.
Exactly, we were talking about that in the pre-show.
We were
literally having this conversation.
Yeah, not only did Atari die with the American game industry crash, they helped cause it!
Yep.
One, with saturating the market with a lot of awful shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by also adding this pristine, gorgeous, diamond-covered turd on top of it, which was E.T.
Yes.
In case you're not aware,
oh god, this was
the E.T. game for the Atari
Thank you, Stephen. You are the king of awkward and graphically horrible descriptions. I love diamond-coated turd. It makes me smile.
The E.T. game for the Atari 2600 was... Oh, see ya, Damasu.
Feel better. Thanks for dropping in. It's good to see you.
Nice to hear that you'll get home, though.
Yeah.
Also, hello, Wendigo. So yes,
welcome.
The original Atari, whom 8 different other people are now wearing their skins, crashed the American game industry because they flooded the market with awful games.
Mm-hmm.
And then topped it off with...
we had a hit. Let's shove another down their throat.
No, they did not have a hit. They had a console and sold games for that console. That was it.
But it's that imagery of shoving a new one down your throat keeps...
They didn't know that's the issue. They did what happened with the Wii, where, yes, there may have been like 3 really good games on the Wii. 90% of the things that were produced were third-party shovelware. But... So,
no,
yes,
we were actually talking about the giant pit.
No, we're not up to talking about the giant pit.
No, we were talking about it. That was part of this conversation.
Yes. So, they flooded the market with everything. Then, they spent way too much money to buy the license to produce E.T. for the Atari 2600. And wanted to release it before Christmas. They told the development team this through some very quick math, about late July, that we want to release it before Christmas. In this case, that means we need the game to be by September 9th.
I think it was September 1st.
They had 5 weeks to produce a game that would have, at the best of times, taken 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
This game, because of the insane licensing fees that they had to pay, and probably some amount of overtime to all of their horrible crunch-based programmers, needed to sell 4 million copies. I don't believe there were 4 million Atari 2600s purchased in America at that time. They only sold 1.5 million. Yeah. That was the death knell to the American games industry for a very long time, until Nintendo came in with a thing that they did not call a game. They very specifically called it an entertainment system. They very specifically avoided using the word game in any marketing forever.
Apparently, they realized by December, oh, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, by the next year, they lost $310 million.
So just for my concern is that the company that thinks that is the name that they want to wear instead of whatever they used to be called,
Skin Suit,
is the person publishing and technically in charge of in charge of Cryptic. But it's
here. I'm gonna pop the article up in the chat.
Yeah, but it's in the same way that technically Hasbro is in charge of WotC, where I think it's basically like, this is the golden goose. On occasion we poke it if it doesn't lay enough eggs, but it mostly pays for the rest of our shit. I don't think that's actually the case with Cryptic, but it seems like they do not get actively antagonized as much as other things.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no. Now, remember that you also have modern coding.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing this on an Atari 2600 that had 16 pixels. Or was it 32 at that point? It may have been 32.
32.
And had to run on a cartridge that contains less than... for the Atari 2600, probably less than 2 megs.
See, this is one of those fun things where you like look at the fact that, oh, a flash drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can have God, super high. Like I've seen one with 32 gigs for a flash drive.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
it's pretty easy.
Pretty easy versus like teeny amounts of data, and that's exciting.
I mean, with a lot of stuff, you have to also remember that there were tricks that developers of this era would do if they needed to make it look like something was moving, where because they could only render a certain amount of colors, what they would actually do is, say if they had a waterfall, they wouldn't animate a waterfall. What they would actually do is say, okay, this pixelated image is a waterfall. We are going to, and it would be made out of 2 different colors. We are going to swap the 2 colors every, probably about every 5 frames to make it look like it's moving. So, like, this dark blue will swap with this light blue, and this light blue will swap with this dark blue. So it looks like the waterfall is slowly flowing down, but without having to animate any sort of motion or use up a significant amount of their colors. Just to try and save memory.
Oh my god. Jeez.
Like, that's why arcade cabinets have kill screens. Because you would get to the point where the game basically goes, I do not have the memory to generate what this level is supposed to look like. It may even know exactly what it's supposed to look like, but it can't generate it. That's why, like, the Pac-Man kill screen, half of the screen is just this horrible glitched out monster, and half of it looks kind of okay.
It's whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah. And then for Donkey Kong, it actually just straight kills you.
It's just
How
one
did
of
we
those.
get an old video game rant after we were trying to leave the Atari thing?
E.T.,
Yeah.
old games and their memory, because I was like, if you look because you mentioned the cartridge space, and I'm like, and we have 32 gigabyte flash drives, friends.
Yeah.
Look how far we've come.
But yeah, all in all, I think both of us are actually pretty hopeful about the game. Mm-hmm. However, I think we'll both intelligently hold some of our
I'm curious
judgment.
about it, and I'm hopeful. I am hopeful.
We'll hold any amount of judgment until they at least have a trailer with actual gameplay footage.
Yes.
Like, they don't even have a trailer yet.
No. Literally, the article that I found about it is it's like, yeah, this was announced a couple days ago.
It was they don't enough fucking Wizards.
No. Exactly. Like, I found it from a third-party site. And
because
I'm like,
Wizards doesn't have it available anywhere obvious.
Nope. That was the whole frustration that we both had trying to find all the stuff with Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
We literally had to comb back through their Facebook page to find anything for it. Because if you go to the site...
You have to scroll back through about a week of articles because they, on the product page, don't redirect to, hey, here's this stuff. Weirdly,
exactly.
It doesn't even show up on Mythic Spoiler because no one cares.
No, it literally sends you to the page when they first announce something.
No, the product when they first say something about anything. The product page, in fact, has a sort of link to the hashtag. You know the last thing that tweeted the arch enemy hashtag?
No, what tweeted?
It was a French game site talking about how, hey, we're selling this 2 days ago. Do you know what tweeted it last before that?
I don't, so please let me know.
I don't either! It was in Japanese or Korean and was in May!
Oh, yay! Okay, I'm gonna go to this now and figure it out. What is this?
But yes, that is actually true, that part of Mario's design was the fact that you could get away with his animations with very few pixels. It's also part of why he has a mustache, so they didn't have to animate a mouth.
Yeah, literally, this is the product information, the set name, release date, Twitter hashtag, languages available, and price. And that
oh my god, it says the price? Usually it doesn't.
It does say the price. Oh, and there's also a secondary page with credits. And that is it.
Hi.
That is literally it. This makes me feel better, because when we were prepping for the show, I'm texting Steven, like, I have no idea what where this is. I've gone to MTG, I've gone to Mythic Spoiler, and I have no bloody clue where this stupid thing is.
Technically, I did not direct you to the Facebook page. I directed you to Gathering Magic's Facebook page, because they had it.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'm just gonna
it's perfectly easy to find an article that came out today, usually.
But the thing is, like, not even on the product page do they have a link to talk about it. And it links back to the actual site where it is. And it's like, okay, so maybe it would be kind of useful in the paragraph of description to be like, oh, set description, something like that. Click on it, boom, there's the article. Easy as pie to find.
I just realized, I'm really sad. I was going to say, well, since we've used up all of our topics, let's go talk about the Hour of Devastation cards. They're unofficial spoilers, which we don't talk about.
Wow. This has been a really short episode.
Yeah, apparently the only reason that we know what some of the cards are is because the French Standard Showdown page accidentally showed them a few days ago.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad about that, but we just don't talk about unofficial spoilers. Because
because we're talking about official stuff.
Yeah. Because there's some other unofficial stuff that we'd like to talk about, but
that's not what we talk about on here.
Yeah, because it's not official, so there's no guarantee, and
no, so it's not part of canon, or
well, no. It's not that it's not part of canon. It's that there's no guarantee that it's real. People will go out of the. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought they were official, but no, they're not, because they got accidentally spoiled on the Magic website, but accidentally. And in French, technically, but we can both read French, so that's not a big issue.
Yes.
I had hope for a minute there.
It's a sad day, but, I mean, we'll have news. When is it being new stuff coming out? Commander comes out...
When does Commander come out, actually?
August 25th.
Okay, I'll be honest. I may actually want to get some of these Commander decks.
Okay, I mean, they're a little... There's $35,
They're usually $35.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a, hey, podcast, let's get together and play some Commander, because one, I love Commander. Two, it's tribal, and I have a really bad habit of building tribal decks no matter what I'm playing.
You know, I think it's time that I put my hatred of Commander decks to rest.
To be fair, the first time you played Commander was with a horrible human being, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Who was it with?
Aaron. But tall Aaron.
Because Aaron's decks are terrible.
But the whole thing is, like, I wanted to play so I could learn.
Yes, but the problem
is learn about how to build the deck, kind of like
the
gameplay,
problem is
different
that,
things
so this is a guy this is a guy who I stopped being friends with because his Commander decks are so awful. He has a literal take an extra turn deck that is based around taking extra turns and oh, well, I play Ral Zarek seriously, or not seriously, like jokingly, because yeah, flipping a whole bunch of coins, you'll still get some extra turns out of him. And then I want to say Dakon Blackblade deck that's basically just, I'm mono black, you're going to die now.
This essentially was like...
We do not know what the tribes are.
There was so much rage.
There was so much There rage. Are unofficial spoilers that have revealed what one of the tribes are, which made me sit up and go, oh yeah. But the other ones, I just want to see what tribes they do, honestly, really. Like, I always like the commander stuff, and I am an idiot and do dumb tribal stuff. I made Infect Tribal.
The only times I've played commander... People have not, it's not been explained to me. I want to figure it out. I'd like to learn how to play it properly. But if you're so intent on stomping my face into the earth, instead of actually having fun, massive angry stink face.
The long and short of it is that it's basically just
magic. To be fair, he was like this with Katana as well.
Yeah. Long and short of it is it's basically just magic, and you just have a singleton deck. There are no duplicates except for basic lands. Mm-hmm.
And you have 100 cards and you have a commander.
Yeah, you have 99 cards and a commander. The commander is always available to you.
99 and a commander.
Yeah.
I know it's 100 cards total.
Yeah. The commander just gets more expensive if they die.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. You can always cast them at any time you could normally cast them. And if it's one of the, like, Wizards released commander decks, then often they'll have some sort of benefit for... like casting them multiple times because they're weird.
Okay, so maybe we do have to have an episode where when it comes out.
Because I love Commander.
Yeah, we'll have to build some sort of a rig where we can have it over the table.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But with that, I think
it's not till August.
Yeah,
it's not till August.
I mean, I will have to design a. Don't you dare say anything to him, Miriam. He's not looking at He's not looking at unofficial spoilers.
No. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to design some sort of minor rig because I'll be doing the whole the rebuilding of my entire computer. So that'll be.
What about a PVC? What about a PVC rig where we build kind of like a PVC pipe frame cradle?
I already have these wonderful tripods that work just as well, and don't look like some sort of horrible pipe-based death ray.
You know I love a good pipe-based death ray.
Yes, that doesn't mean I want it in my home. Thank you
all. It's
like
the core of my being.
Thank you all so very much for tuning in. I think we're going to end off this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to end off this call, but I think we're going to kill the stream briefly and bring it back with something not this, because we're already done with the podcast, dang it!
What has it been, like 30 minutes?
40 minutes.
Okay, we
plus
almost,
10 minutes of fighting with the game with streaming. So, real quick rundown if you want to get in contact with us. 1, we are doing a 365-day streaming challenge. If you want to watch this live or any of the other things we stream, you can find it at twitch.tv/lairoflore. These will tend to be longer. You'll also get to interact with us in our normal post shows, which are just goofy and silliness and messing around with chat. Additionally, if you really like what we're doing, you can support us on Twitch with bits, because we are an affiliate. Hang on, no, keep on target. You can also support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/lairoflore, where you can get access to stuff like the extra bits, which is the stuff before and after all these podcasts, the extra souls, which is the stuff before and after all of our weekly D&D sessions, and our Patreon-only D&D sessions as well. You can get access to some other stuff, like, at the highest tier, you can actually get us to send you all of the cooking that we do on our roughly every week to every 2-week cooking streams. Lots of silly, goofy stuff like that.
Chili, cornbread, and cookies.
Yup. Sometime in June, maybe early July, we'll be doing another round of brewing, so that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find the VODs for everything we do over at youtube.com/lairoflore. Are you noticing a pattern yet? You can find everything else
it's like
also
we have the same name everywhere.
lairoflore.com. And if you want to email us or get in contact with us in any way, you can do that at masterminds@lairoflore.com.
Funny, that's
on Twitter
funny
at
that's
lairoflore. or on Facebook at Lair of Lore. Look, if you type Lair of Lore in, it's probably us, damn it.
Probably.
Now, we apologize for having been gone for quite a while, and for this being a relatively short episode by our standards, since it's not almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, we kind of got into a habit of that.
Yep. But we are going to end off here. We're going to end our video call so that I can stream something else, and then I'm going to start streaming something else and keep talking to Miriam on stream.
It's funny, we never interact with, like, Mini Chandra in the background.
I didn't remember Mini Chandra was in the background. I'm sorry,
Mini Chandra hangs out in the background.
The pop figures have never been a massive interest for me.
I just think they're kind of fun.
Okay. Well, we will sign off now, and we will see you either if you're watching live in just a few minutes, or next time. Bye!